birthing video for you guys, something different for my channel. I would say that my pregnancy was a pretty easy pregnancy. My first try, it was pretty normal, like the symptoms you're supposed to get. I mean, you're like tired all the time and hungry. I mean, that's normal because you have a growing baby inside of you. Um, the rest of my pregnancy was pretty easy. The second and third trimester, smooth sailing. I was more on the smaller side, and the OBGYN was trying to figure out why I was so small. And she was trying to get me to go to like a specialist to find out if there was something wrong with the baby, or I'm just a small person. Well, come to find out, like, overall, it was just because I'm a small person. I'm like 107 pounds, 5'3", petite. So, I mean, I'm not going to grow a big belly, and I'm just small. So, going forward, let's see. So, on the night that I started to get contractions, I was leaking fluid, but I didn't think anything of it. Like, I went back to sleep, but then the contractions grew worse, so I woke my boyfriend up. He was supposed to go to work, but it didn't work out that way, so he rushed me to the hospital, and then come to find out, I had to fill out like a good stack of papers, and I'm like in labor. So I didn't really appreciate that. I felt like I could have filled out the paperwork later. At this time it was like 3 a.m. And when I was getting wheeled to go, like, in the wheelchair, the ambulance guy was cracking jokes. Of course, I wasn't having it because, I mean, I'm in pain. So then eventually we got to the head nurse. She checked me. I was 4 centimeters already. In the first room that they put me in, I changed into a gown. I was telling her how sick I was because of the pain, so she gave me ice. And then I had to wait, and eventually I did throw up because the pain was so bad for me. Everybody has a different tolerance when it comes to pain. I got to another room. They continued to check me. Eventually I told the nurse, is there something you could give me? And she said that, yeah, I can give you medicine. It's medicine that will get you to forget about the pain. Well, that didn't work out. It just made me kind of loopy. So I continued to wait and wait, still in pain. And eventually I told the head nurse, please give me an epidural. But then when she checked me, I was still 6 centimeters. So I had to wait. Plus, I had to wait for the guy to come and administer the epidural. So that was like an hour and a half wait. And then eventually he did come, and then he told me that because of the way that my bones are, and because I'm so skinny, I was his best patient because he's always, I guess, had some type of problem when he was trying to administer epidural. But he's like, you're my best client. And then I got my epidural. It kind of took time for it to kick in. But when it did, I was completely fine up until they eventually were like, we're gonna get you to push now. And then they thought that the baby was in distress, but really it was me in distress because you could still feel like the pressure and everything. And then So they took like an instrument where they could suck the baby out of that area, and I guess when she came out, she had like the umbilical cord wrapped around her neck. So obviously they had to work fast to get that off so she didn't, lose oxygen. But when she was born, she was 4 pounds 11 ounces. She was 16 inches long. So, I mean, I thought I was gonna have a pretty, you know, normal sized baby, maybe 7 pounds, but she was only a 4 pound baby. So they checked her, everything was completely normal. There was nothing wrong with her, which is very surprising when you have a baby like a month early, because I did have her a month early, a month and a day. Because the nurse was telling me that there was another little boy about her size a month early, but he was having like lung problems. My daughter didn't have any types of problems at all, and then of course the normal testing that hospitals do. The baby goes in and out, the care of the mom goes with nurses and doctors. When I took her to her first checkup, they told me that she was 4 pounds 3 ounces. So she was a pretty small little peanut. And I would say that backtracking to when she was born, we had to name her. My boyfriend wanted me to name her. He wasn't quite sure what to name her, and he just really wanted me to pick the first name, middle name, and of course we chose the last name to be my last name and his last name. I got my daughter's first name from my aunt, but I also learned that her name, Essie, actually means star, and then her middle name is Fairlight, and Fairlight is an Appalachian mountain name, which, I mean, is quite interesting to me. But that's where her name came from. But I think overall, my first pregnancy was, a decent pregnancy, and I would say that there was some cravings when I was pregnant, which would be things like peanut butter. For some strange reason, I craved peanut butter like a lot. Like I would put it on cookies, pretty much anything sweet. I just had to have peanut butter. But also too, I had more of like an iron deficiency, so it made sense because peanuts have a lot of iron, and I mean it's good for you and the baby. But I wouldn't say I had any weird cravings. The only two out of the ordinary ones that I would say that I had was I really liked pickles, which now, being a 2-year-old, she's allergic to pickles, and I had to have banana pudding this one time. But other than that, I think it was just normal food, because I heard that there's a lot of women who have like the strangest cravings. But if you guys have any comments, please feel free to leave a comment down below, and I'll try to answer as much as possible. And I hope you guys are all having a good day.